My name is Christian Meyers. I am the founder and chief product officer of Terra Arma. I'm also an Air Force veteran. I spent a little over 12 years in the Air Force doing combat search and rescue, and I am one of the skydivers and medical coordinators with the 7X project. The 7X project is a large fundraising and culmination project that took about a year and a half to develop. The idea is that we would do a marathon, a swim, and a skydive or a base jump on all 7 continents over the course of 7 days. The idea here is to push our bodies to the absolute limit, push them to a breaking point so that we can test, measure, collate, and quantify all of the data for recovery. So the idea, break the body and study how recovery happens. This way we can apply those steps and that methodology that we develop into the special operations community, the first responder community, like police officers and firefighters. You have these men and women who are serving on the front lines day in and day out. They never really get an opportunity to fully recover. And there's not a whole lot of published data on appropriate recovery in a holistic viewpoint. There's a lot of data touching on different subjects, but we wanted to have a big holistic point of view on the actual steps to being able to perform in an event such as the 7X project, or on how to recover if you were partaking in something extreme similar to the 7X project. I got involved with the 7X project through the founder and the fearless leader, Ryan Parrott. He's a former Navy SEAL, goes by the moniker Birdman. And he's also a wingsuit base jumper, professional skydiver, all that kind of stuff. I met Ryan at a veterans retreat, actually, and he invited me to be a part of the project because of my experience with skydiving and base jumping, as well as being a veteran who likes to be involved in philanthropic adventures and events like this. Terra Arma, the company that I founded, is huge with philanthropy. It's one of our driving factors, and to be a part of something similar where we're doing fundraising for other veteran charities and nonprofits and getting to take people on an experience of a lifetime at the same time, it spoke volumes to me, and it sounded like something I absolutely wanted to be a part of. The fact that we get to partake in an event like this, travel the world with some people that we would never really have the opportunity to meet in the outside world or share an experience like this with in the outside world. Got a chance to do that with them while raising money for veteran charities at the same time. It's a truly iconic event. So extreme sports for me have always been an enormous outlet. I grew up on a skateboard. I pretty much spent my entire youth and teenage years on a skateboard. So I always had a love for extreme sports, whether it's skateboarding or skydiving or snowboarding, surfing. I've tried and partaken in pretty much most of those over the course of my life. And in 2015, I began skydiving. I returned from a deployment and I wanted to try something new, and skydiving always seemed like it would be a lot of fun. It seemed like it would be right up my alley, so I dove all in, I got my license, and I pretty much just never stopped. So I kept skydiving. I ended up getting multiple ratings and licenses in order to become an instructor, teach new skydivers how to do that, to take people on tandem skydives. And during that time, I got involved in my first philanthropic effort, teaching veterans how to skydive and paraglide and piloting lessons as a form of resiliency and recovery, so they can get involved in new challenges, overcome obstacles, meet new communities. And I absolutely loved being able to share those two things and merge them together. Over that time, I eventually retired from the Air Force. I got out, and extreme sports were still there for me. It was a community outside of the military community that I could rely on. I had friends, I have friends there, kind of border the military community in a certain way that's just on the outside. So we share a lot of the common values. We share a lot of close experiences together that bring you close in something that's both exciting, a little bit scary, a little bit dangerous, all at the same time. So taking veterans and inserting them into that, it truly is a fantastic experience. And to do it in the magnitude that we did with 7X, you're taking people from all different walks of life. You have investment bankers and you have patent lawyers spending time with base jumpers who live in their van and travel the US or travel the world all day. Those are two communities and two types of people you wouldn't commonly see come together. But with the 7X project, we had people from all over, from Tier 1 special operations teams. We had some of the most iconic medical members in the United States and in the world on board this trip, paired with multi-millionaire businessmen or billionaire businessmen. And then you had base jumpers and a bunch of veterans and skydivers who come from totally different walks of life. And to watch these communities come together, we had 61 people total on this trip, and no one at any point felt like an outcast. We were just one big family from the get-go. And to share that while you're raising money for veteran efforts, philanthropic efforts, it truly is once in a lifetime and a very iconic experience. So the next steps and the next events preceding the 7X project, in conjunction with the Bird's Eye View project, the overall nonprofit who's kind of overseeing this, is to continue doing events like this, whether they're global events or local events. The idea is to take people and put them in a situation they would never otherwise have an opportunity to be in. So later this year, later in 2023, in the fall of 2023, we'll be doing the Red Coat project. So the idea is to take donors and put them into a full military Tier 1 operator experience over the course of a weekend. So we're going to have a full day of training where we train them up on how to utilize weapons. We'll be using simulation rounds. So nothing's dangerous, no live fire drills, but we'll be teaching them how to do close quarters combat, how to do quick reactionary drills, how to do transition drills, walk them through a mission briefing, and then we have actual Op4, so opposing forces. We have role players acting as bad guys. We're putting them into a full scenario where they're helicoptered in. They actually go through the full missions as if they were part of one of these Tier 1 teams. So acting as a Navy SEAL or an Army Ranger or a Green Beret. In one of these instances, they're going to be acting this out. It's an experience unlike anything else, and the idea here is that everyone volunteers their time to come and put this show on, to put this event on. Any of the role players, any of the volunteers, they come out there because they want to be here. And all the funds generated to attend the event are then donated to other veteran charities and nonprofits to continue the same thing, that we're offering experiences unlike anything else for a great cause at the end of the day. So that's what's next for the 7X project and Bird's Eye View, and to continue fundraising for these efforts and to continue pushing the envelope a little bit. There's some other things we have for the coming years that are very exciting. I think they're going to be truly iconic global events that nothing else would be able to touch. And what's next for myself? Continuing with Terra Arma, continuing to give back in unique ways like this. I really love being able to share my love of skydiving and adventure sports and action sports with other people, whether they're in the veteran community or they're civilians or they're first responders, whoever wants to be involved in things like this, where we get to push yourself and challenge yourself and do something outside the norm in order to help raise funds for people who need it. There's nothing else like it. It truly is the best job in the world. So when the 7X manual, when the culminating document actually comes together and that's released, you can find more information on Bird's Eye View Project or 7X Project websites, as well as the documentary that's to follow. So during this entire event, we filmed everything from start to finish. We're putting a full series documentary together. So upon its release, make sure you watch that, leave it some love, and ask how you can get involved in the next one.